back to MLG Classics, where we got 32 of the best games in MLG history, and we're trying to find out which one is the best, but we need your help. You're going to be voting throughout this entire process. We put these 32 games in a massive bracket, and right now we just saw Polt versus Naniwa, 2013 MLG Summer Championship. Coming up next, we have, yes, Huck versus Kiwikaki. This is from the first ever Starcraft 2 event at an MLG. That's right, 2010. 2010, that was like 3 years ago. That's MLG Raleigh 2010. This is potentially the final game. It's the grand final. Huck versus Kiwikaki. Check it out.
A little bit longer of a game and not have to rely too much on these all-in style plays.
All right, guys. Well, here's a little bit of a map preview from Kelly herself.
Blistering Sands is a two-player map with spawn points at the 2 and 7 o'clock positions. Long distances between each base typically create a longer game. Destructible rocks can be found at alternate entrances into each main base, so generally players place a building to scout oncoming attacks. Natural expansions can be found right down the ramp from the main base, and quite often players will fast expand. Expect to see Protoss users wall off with 2 buildings as the narrow choke allows for it. High-yield expansions are at the 11 and 5 o'clock positions, with Zilnaga towers in the middle of the map providing sight to any approaching attacks.
So here we have Kiwikaki spawning in the top right position on Blistering Sands as the blue Protoss. If you're in a crowd here, give a cheer to your favorite Canadian Protoss, Kiwikaki. Very good crowd. And of course, Huck in the bottom left as the red Protoss pieces.
And yeah, Blistering Sands, this map does usually favor somewhat of a fast expand build, but really, I think both players, we've seen them do pretty much the one base play every game. Do you think that you might see somewhat of a more economical build in this match?
I think the players will open up generally with some sort of big push, whether it be some sort of 2 gateway robo push or even maybe 3 or 4 gateway. But then there is always a chance to expand a little while after that quite safely. And look, Kiwikaki always checking for cheese. He's one of the most consistent players in this tournament for checking if anything fishy is going on. He will get to his opponent's base a little bit later, but that's not too big of a deal. He's going to make certain that nothing goofy happens. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to see more early expands this game, though. Both
players went ahead and sent out a probe just to make sure that their opponents are not up to anything crazy. Proxy pylons or proxy gateways often occur earlier on this map, and it looks like both players aren't going to be doing anything of that nature, but they have to make sure just in case.
That's right. I mean, on this map, there's especially a lot of places to hide. You can hide it on the left side of your main plateau, behind the natural expansion, down here by the gold, anywhere around this Zilnaga watchtower. So very good by Kiwikaki to spot all those places. Kiwikaki throwing down another very late gateway. Nothing wrong with that. He's focusing more on probes early on. Huck getting a little bit earlier of a gateway himself, and as usual, chrono boosting his probes as much as he can.
Looks like gas going down for both players, so we're not going to see any crazy cheese with a 3-gate zone. Actually, Kiwikaki getting stuck there with his probe. Clicking on the minerals allows them, and there's the gas still.
I'm not sure if I necessarily like this or not, because Huck is just playing so well against this, and Huck's saying, no, that is a good idea. I'm going to steal your gas too. So both players, again, doing this very, very low on gas play, high on minerals, which could lead to an early expand.
Indeed, we'll have to see exactly what players are going to be up to, as both players have stolen the gas. There goes the Cybernetics core for Kiwikaki. Is Huck going to be throwing it down anytime soon? Looks like he's saving up the minerals for it, and Kiwikaki actually doing a little bit of harassment on Huck, trying to stop that Cybernetics core from going down, but Huck does go ahead and get it down.
And it looks like this pylon's a little bit late for Kiwikaki, as he is getting supply blocked. That Cybernetics core is, of course, en route. Very fast second gateway by Kiwikaki, letting his plans be known. Huck hasn't built a second gateway himself yet. And, ooh, there's 2 in gas for Huck. That's a little bit weird of a choice. And by weird of a choice, I mean that's a mistake. Okay, there's 3 in gas finally going on. It looks like we have a pretty mirror match going on from both players at this point.
Yeah, Huck might just be a little bit nervous. Here comes the Stalker coming out for Kiwikaki right now. Some probes there on the trail there with Kiwikaki's right behind Huck's. And do we have a Stalker coming out for Huck? Yes, we do. And another gateway has been thrown down. Up to 3 gates for Huck, and Kiwikaki only on 2 right now.
And we haven't seen that, yeah, like you said, that third gateway from Kiwikaki is nowhere to be found. He's spending it on a little bit more expensive units of the Stalker, wants to be able to deal with any sort of Zealot pressure early on. Huck also getting many of some Stalkers himself. We do see these 2 probes from Kiwikaki are now retreating to these 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers. So smart to keep that spotting up. And both players are also chrono boosting their warp gates. Nothing too out of the ordinary right now, but already because those warp gates make units so quickly, you need to be very careful to defend your ramp.
Yeah, Kiwikaki actually chrono boosting his probes instead of that research of the warp gate, so he's trying to get more probes than his opponent, obviously. And Huck is actually going to be chrono boosting the warp gate still. So let's go into the income tab. Looks like Kiwikaki a little bit ahead right now in the harvester count. Doesn't make too much, but it's all the subtle things here in StarCraft.
Yeah, and you know what I love a lot about this game already is the difference between the 2 players. Expenditure of money, more Zealots and Sentries coming out for Huck, and more Stalkers coming out for Kiwikaki. I mean, if your control is as good as Kiwikaki's, that's what you should be doing. I mean, he has absolute pristine control with those Stalkers, and they are extremely fast units. Look, already moving away from the gas as he's killing it off. And there's 2 more gateways from Kiwikaki. I love this aggressive 4-gate style, but with this mix that Huck is going for, I think he's going to be in good shape being able to defend against it.
Kiwikaki did send those 3 Stalkers out into the left of his main. He's scouting for any sneaky play from his fellow Canadian player, Huck, and looks like Huck is actually going for somewhat of a similar build right now. He does have 4 gates, excuse me, and he's going ahead and getting his second gas. We only have 3 gates right now, 4 gates for Kiwikaki as well, so both players going for a 4-gate build, and Kiwikaki does have this forward pylon, so he might be the aggressor right now.
Kiwikaki is going to have a little bit of a window because these 4 gateways were finished long before his opponents, and oh yes, indeed, Kiwikaki loves having more aggressive opportunities, killing off these back-destructible rocks. Huck does have a pylon here. I don't know if he sees going to the Huck cam. He would have to be actively looking down there as there's nothing on the minimap, but yes, there's a sentry getting warped in, wants to be able to throw down force fields if at all necessary, but oh, never leave your front ramp abandoned. That is so dangerous. What makes this map so difficult is this destructible rock in the back, but people tend to forget about their front door.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where if the aggressor is taking down those destructible rocks, he can easily pop back over into that natural expansion and go up that ramp, and then just pop back right into your main. So you definitely have to be careful. Huck keeping his Stalkers in the front to get the attack before the units can actually go up the ramp, because remember, in StarCraft 2, high ground does have the advantage.
Yeah, and I do want to note that neither player is making probes at this point. Kiwikaki now moving up, able to snipe down one of those Stalkers, and oh, getting trapped. Oh, this is going to be a Stalker massacre. Huck morphing in more units. This is a terrible position for Kiwikaki to be in, and another force field gets thrown down. Kiwikaki's food has plummeted with that play, and that is why it is dangerous to get Stalkers in tight places.
Indeed, Kiwikaki was a little bit flustered right there. He went ahead and actually attacking one of his Stalkers with all of his own. Didn't actually kill it, but definitely showing the fact that that was not a nice force field to be on the opposite end of. And Huck is actually going for a nice counterattack here. Is he going to start taking out these rocks of his opponent? Yes, he is.
And it looks like the gas has not yet been retaken by Kiwikaki. That means that he will not have enough sentries. Those force fields are so tough to deal with. He is annihilating these destructible rocks so quickly, and this is going to be almost impossible for Kiwikaki to hold off.
And while all this is going on, Huck has gone ahead and thrown down a robotics facility, and here comes Huck pushing into the main of Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki is definitely going to be in a tough spot right now, even pulling probes for this
pulling
fight.
Probes off. Now it looks like Kiwikaki has a slightly bigger base army mix, but look at those force fields doing so much damage, and Huck has an insanely high zealot count. All the zealots of Kiwikaki are just evaporating, and Kiwikaki is slowly falling behind on the Stalker count as well. Huck pushing in to do, it looks like, the final blow. Huck currently up 3-2, could take the championship with this push right here, killing off all the Stalkers, no matter how much micro you have.
And GG.
Not going to be enough. Huck winning that series decisively.
And Huck is the grand champion here at MLG Raleigh. Let's give another round of applause for our champion, Huck.
And there he is standing up
the
on
first
the right.
StarCraft 2 competition at an MLG. I see Druby there. I see some familiar faces. There's Huck with his hoodie on. Kiwikaki chilling. And there's Tyler. Look at all these faces we're seeing. I think that's Saris and TT1. I'm just piecing this out. Wow. Super, super cool. Of course, Day9 and JP bringing you the commentary of that one. How's that for a throwback? That was from 2010. Again, the first ever StarCraft 2 competition. Huck ended up winning that, beating Kiwikaki, and now it is time, guys, to vote. So, which one is going to move on? It's up to you. Right now, you need to get on Twitter and either hashtag MLG, hashtag Huck versus Kiwikaki, or Polt versus Naniwa. Remember, Polt versus Naniwa from the Summer Championship, where Naniwa had some words for Polt and then was able to back it up on Neoplanet S, getting a crushing victory over Polt. Or should Huck versus Kiwikaki move on, Huck taking out Kiwikaki in the first ever StarCraft 2 tournament at MLG? Decide right now. Get on Twitter. Vote for your favorite because it is absolutely up to you. But we're not even close to being done, guys. We got plenty more StarCraft 2 classics coming your way. Stay tuned.